Welcome to Audio Story Quest, the perfect destination for heartwarming tales of romance and adventure. Join us as we explore the depths of emotions in our short stories. Subscribe now for a daily dose of love, adventure and storytelling magic.
Unveiling Deceit, a shocking tale of marital betrayal. In a serene suburban neighborhood, there lived a couple, Sarah and John, who had been married for over a decade. They were childhood sweethearts, their love story a source of inspiration to all who knew them. Their love had grown stronger with time, and their bond was unbreakable. It all started on a sunny afternoon at the local playground, where the laughter of children echoed through the air. Sarah, with her golden curls and a smile that could light up even the gloomiest of days, was playing on the swings. Her laughter was like music, drawing the attention of everyone around, including a young boy named John. John, a few years older than Sarah but equally captivated by the joyous spirit she exuded, couldn't resist the urge to approach her. He nervously shuffled towards the swings, his heart pounding with the uncertainty of a new friendship. With a tentative, "Hi," he introduced himself, and thus began a conversation that would change the course of their lives. Sarah, with her innate kindness, welcomed John's friendship with open arms. They spent that afternoon sharing stories, laughing, and discovering the common interests that would form the bedrock of their connection. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with shades of orange and pink, Sarah and John realized they had found something special in each other. From that day forward, they became inseparable. Their childhood bond grew stronger with each passing year. They played together after school, shared secrets beneath the towering oak tree in the park, and navigated the ups and downs of adolescence side by side. Through it all, their friendship deepened into a love that was pure, unwavering, and built on a foundation of trust forged in the innocence of their youth. Their journey from childhood sweethearts to husband and wife was a testament to the enduring power of a connection that began on a simple playground, under the watchful eyes of the sun and the stars. Sarah and John's love story was proof that sometimes the most meaningful and enduring relationships are those that begin with a simple, "Hi," on a sunny afternoon. Sarah, with her radiant smile and kind heart, had always been the pillar of support for John. He, in turn, was a charismatic man, admired by many for his warmth and charm. Together, they had built a life filled with laughter and shared dreams. As the years passed, life's demands began to weigh on John. Long hours at work and mounting stress had taken a toll on him. He started coming home late, preoccupied with the challenges of his career. John had been grappling with mounting stress at work. The demands of his job had intensified over time, pushing him to work longer hours and take on additional responsibilities. The pressure to perform had started to take a toll on his mental and emotional well-being. In the midst of his professional challenges, John felt neglected in his marriage. He believed that Sarah, who had always been a loving and devoted wife, was now preoccupied with her own responsibilities and pursuits. This sense of emotional disconnection left him feeling isolated and unappreciated. Over time, John and Sarah's communication had dwindled. They had stopped sharing their thoughts, dreams, and fears as openly as they used to. This breakdown in communication created a growing emotional chasm between them, making him feel like an outsider in his own marriage. John's emotional distance was, in part, a defense mechanism. He feared that if he opened up about his struggles and vulnerabilities, it would burden Sarah further or cause her distress. This fear of causing her pain led him to withdraw emotionally. Emily, his coworker, offered a temporary escape from his mounting troubles. Her attention and companionship provided a brief respite from the stresses of his life. Emily possessed an understated beauty that was both alluring and approachable. Her hazel eyes sparkled with kindness and intelligence, framed by long, chestnut locks that fell gracefully around her shoulders. Her smile was warm and inviting, with a hint of mischief that added to her charm. She had a slender, graceful figure, and her sense of style was elegant yet casual, making her effortlessly attractive in any setting. Emily's captivating allure lay in her ability to listen with genuine interest, her warm smile that seemed to melt away worries, and her empathetic nature that made him feel truly understood. Her tempting allure was like a siren's call, drawing him in with the promise of solace and escape from his overwhelming troubles. It was a forbidden fruit, an emotional lifeline he couldn't resist despite knowing the risks involved. John lacked healthy coping mechanisms to address the mounting stress and emotional distance in his marriage. Instead of seeking solace in Sarah's support, he turned to an unhealthy outlet, which was the affair with Emily. While he knew it was wrong, the allure of this emotional connection became a tempting distraction. Sarah noticed the change in him but chose to be patient, believing that their love could weather any storm. It was a slow erosion, almost imperceptible at first. He began arriving home late from work, his excuses of demanding projects and business trips increasingly frequent. His phone, once an open book between them, now bore a lock that symbolized the growing chasm of secrecy. Sarah's intuition, that finely tuned instrument of her heart, began to sound alarms. She felt the void growing within her, a suspicion that her beloved husband was concealing something. At first, she dismissed these thoughts as mere paranoia, trusting in the rock-solid foundation of their childhood love. Yet, as weeks turned into months, the mounting evidence became undeniable. Sarah's heart ached, and a gnawing emptiness took root in her chest. She couldn't ignore the truth any longer, and so, she resolved to confront it. One evening, Sarah decided to surprise John at his office, hoping to remind him of the love they had shared since their childhood days. She walked into his office, heart pounding with excitement, only to find John sharing an intimate moment with Emily, whose name Sarah had heard in passing but never paid much heed to. The scene was painfully vivid, a passionate kiss exchanged with all the ardor that should have belonged solely to Sarah. Tears welled up in her eyes as the full weight of betrayal settled upon her soul. Heartache, anguish, disbelief. A tempest of emotions churned within her, threatening to engulf her entirely. Her knees weakened, and she stumbled back, her breaths coming in shallow gasps. Time stopped as the realization hit her like a tidal wave crashing onto her fragile heart. In that moment, she felt a mix of emotions: betrayal, anger, sadness, disbelief, and a burning determination. The world, once so familiar and comforting, had become alien and hostile. Without a second thought, Sarah rushed to grab her keys from her handbag, her trembling hands fumbling for the car keys. Her heart pounded like a war drum, and her mind raced with thoughts of what she should now do. The drive home was a blur of emotions, tears streaming down her face as she gripped the steering wheel with white knuckles. The traffic lights seemed to change too slowly, as if mocking her urgency. Finally, she arrived home, her heart pounding louder with every step towards the front door. She pushed it open, and there, in their once happy living room, she felt an eerie silence. Discovering John's affair was a devastating blow to Sarah, a whirlwind of emotions engulfed her. At first, there was shock and disbelief, as she couldn't fathom that the man she had trusted and loved could betray her in such a way. As the truth sank in, anger and hurt took over. Sarah felt a deep sense of abandonment. She questioned their entire relationship. In addition to the emotional turmoil, Sarah experienced a roller coaster of self-doubt and insecurity. She questioned her own worth and wondered what she had done wrong to push John into the arms of someone else. Sarah confronted John later that night, their emotions laid bare in a tempestuous exchange. Sarah's voice quivered, but her resolve was unyielding. The air was thick with tension, words sharper than knives, but in that moment, Sarah found a new kind of strength within herself. The confrontation was painful, filled with cries and accusations. John, guilt-ridden, confessed to his affair with Emily, explaining that he had felt neglected and distant in their marriage. Sarah's world shattered into a million pieces, and the pain was excruciating. Sarah was torn between the love she still harbored for John and the gaping wound of betrayal. Could their childhood love withstand the scars of infidelity? It was a question that haunted her every moment, as she navigated the minefield of her emotions. Nights turned into a parade of tearful confessions and heartfelt conversations. It was not an easy road, forgiveness never is. It required her to confront her own vulnerabilities, to navigate the labyrinth of her emotions, and to rebuild her trust in the man who had shattered it. Through countless nights of tearful and sleepless hours, Sarah discovered that forgiveness was not a sign of weakness but a testament to her own inner strength. John, too, embarked on a path of redemption. The guilt that had gnawed at his conscience had grown unbearable. He realized the gravity of his actions and was determined to make amends. Slowly, painstakingly, they began to rebuild. Sarah found the strength to forgive. Their shared journey to heal their marriage was marked by his unwavering commitment to rebuilding the love he had nearly destroyed. Their therapy sessions became a sanctuary of introspection and healing. The therapist guided them through the labyrinth of their emotions, helping them understand the roots of their pain and the pathways to recovery. Each session was an emotional roller coaster, filled with tearful confessions, heartfelt apologies, and, eventually, moments of genuine connection. As the weeks turned into months, Sarah and John began to rebuild their trust, one tentative step at a time. They learned to communicate more openly, sharing their fears, desires, and vulnerabilities with a depth they had never known before. The wounds from the affair, though still visible, began to heal, leaving behind scars that served as a reminder of their shared journey of redemption. Their love story had transformed from one of perfection to one of imperfection, and in that imperfection, they discovered a profound beauty. It was a love that had weathered the storm, emerging on the other side with a newfound resilience. The years that followed were marked by a deeper connection, a love that had been tested and had emerged victorious. Sarah and John's love was no longer the envy of others, but a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of forgiveness, and a reminder that even in the darkest of hours, love could find its way back into the hearts of two people who had once been childhood sweethearts. They reconstructed the trust that had been shattered, one shard at a time. Their love story, once celebrated for its perfection, had become a testament to the enduring power of love when it was allowed to flourish amid the broken pieces. Sarah and John's love, though marred by pain, became a symbol of resilience. They proved that sometimes, even in the darkest of hours, love could find its way back into the hearts of two people who had once been childhood sweethearts. Theirs was a story of second chances, of healing, and of the remarkable strength of love when it was allowed to bloom anew.
And this concludes our story. But before we end, remember that every story is just a snapshot in time. Life is full of twists and turns, and the journey continues. Thanks for joining us.